Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rucha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, labor in this word and doctrine. So in this video, I just want to, just go through some basic scriptures, such as what is known as the Ten Commandments, as they call it. All right. By they, really, the Christian church is referring to, who call it the Ten Commandments. Exodus chapter 20, those 10 commandments written there. That's basic stuff, but that's what they call basic in the Christian church, and they still don't do it. So the reason why I actually want to go into this topic is because recently I watched a video that was on the Poor Man Podcast Reacts, to his channel, and it was the introduction of the video had these two Eves, and one Eve was asking a question. It was basically, what's more important, the perception of what it is or the reality? Okay. And then when she brought up Martin Luther King, okay, and she was talking about how he quote unquote cheated on his wife. And by the way, you can't cheat on your wife, alright, as a man. You can commit adultery, which is having sex with another man's wife. Okay. The adulterer and the adulteress shall both be put to death. Okay. But in regards to a man having sex with another woman that is single, that's different. That's actually he's basically just dealing with another woman. A man can deal with multiple women, have multiple wives and whatnot. But that's not the only thing that they spoke about, and that's not necessarily well, it is, but once she had said that, the other Eve was a bit like, started to ramble, and it started to be in a very unfruitful back and forth, which is the point of, he showed it and then just started talking about his point, which was it was very clear that you weren't going to get much out of it except a rebuke video, okay? Because the Poor Man's Podcast, where he spoke afterwards, wasn't really, he's thinking with the mindset of a Babylonian man, okay? And I'm going to start with this scripture right here. It's Jeremiah 4:22. It says, "For my people is foolish, they have not known me, they are sottish children." Let's get that word sottish. That word is sakal, which means fool. So they're foolish, they are sottish, so they're silly, once again. So synonyms, basically. For my people is foolish, they have not known me, right? We see our people don't know Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So that woman's talking about MLK as if when they were talking about MLK, he started talking about, you gotta do this for your black queen or whatever, but he's still, I don't know what it started going into like blackity black, like a great, basically reverence him as a great influence of our people. I guess he was abundant on the left-hand side, yeah, but that's the point, on the left-hand side. But they're obviously trying to say as if they should be he was reverenced, and what he did was of upright things. Really, even he, towards the end of his time and his position, had actually said that he believed he had integrated his people to a burning house, I believe. All right, and really that is indeed what Babylon, aka America, is, man. It's a tabernacle getting destined to be put to the flames. Okay, but let's read this though. Jeremiah 4:22. "For my people is foolish, they have not known me, they are sottish children, they have none understanding, they are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge." So they don't see, our people, they don't know how to actually do good. Therefore, what's gonna happen when they get into things like this, man? When it gets into topics where you start talking about how MLK was allegedly a good Christian man, all right, and a good man. He was basically, as if he was walking upright, but really that dude was he was into some fruit. He was doing some fruity stuff, as a lot of people would do if you were among nobles and whatnot. All right, he would do things that were, like in a form of, how'd you say, sexual deviancy, okay? That's what I'm referring to. Trying to not keep it too graphic, because I don't even want to say, I don't want that, fuck all that, you know what I mean? But, that's the point though. He was wise to do evil. Our people are wise to do evil, but they don't know how to do good. All right, because these Eves are just hoes anyway. Like, when you go into that video, he starts showing that, who these women really are. And, that's the whole point of, like the Manosphere videos, to show you like how the women's liberation and feminism and all that. Oh, that's a topic. I need to do a video on that again, really. The counterculture of the 1960s. Yeah, because I don't have that video on my channel, but I need to do that video again. Adon Ratazah, if it's, Adon Ratazah, be on my spirit to have that video up very soon. But, just because in general, in regards to, how do I say it? Yeah, the manosphere. Those old videos, they don't have the 100% truth, but they have understanding in regards to the woman, understanding regards to what he has done, all right, and his politea, his civil affairs, and how that's caused this form of this civilization to basically to be all the way fucking how do you say, just basically fucking destroyed, man. All right, simply just put it as that. All right, perverse spirits in Babylon the Great, and everyone's following after that image. That's why they're wise. Our people are wise to evil, because who are they following? But they're talking about MLK being a Christian, so-called, okay, being a good Christian, a good follower, a man who believes in the word of God and all that. They'll use things like this. I'm not saying it's exactly everything that she was saying, but it goes hand in hand. So really, I'm just saying that's not verbatim, but that is something that people would consider. So many of these nobles in general, like there's so many people like even like Voka, even like Gino Jennings or whatever. All right, whoever, any pastor pork chop basically. But look at it. Let's go to the basics, man. Exodus chapter 21, and the Most High spake, or I'll say, and Elohim spake all these words, saying, bear with me. Yeah, and Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. That's how, again, that's a scripture I say that we use to substantiate our biblical sound understanding that when the word Egypt is used, it's synonymous with the house of bondage. All right. In the scriptures of prophecies, that's when it goes into again the basics, Deuteronomy 28 and 68. All right, out of the house of bondage. When it goes into go into the land of Egypt again with ships. Forgive me. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. That's actually referring to Babylon the Great, which is indeed spiritual Egypt. And why is it spiritual Egypt? Because it's the house of bondage. So that's how we know that it's synonymous. So when it goes into these prophecies about Egypt, we know where it's talking about. It's specifically that land. Because Revelation 11:8, that's a breakdown of itself to go in Revelation chapter 11. But verse 8 is talking about Babylon, America specifically, that great city. So that's how the prophecies link up. Okay, but this is Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. All right, but here's verse 5. Here's the reason why. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. But you see, like, there's people that do that in these so-called Christian churches, so-called Orthodox churches. Brother Mashar has that testimony where, he went to one of these Greek Orthodox churches one time when he was trying to be a debater. Like back in the days we used to do these debates, we used to go and seek debates and all that. But when he went in there, they were bowing down to idols, and if he wasn't doing that, he couldn't really be in there, so he wasn't trying to do that. So, Exodus 20 and 5, when it says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, that's the point. He said, nor serve them. But that's what these people do. Okay? So there you go. That's what they're about. They're about really serving idols and things made of hands and being in that whole house. That's really what they'd like to do. They don't really get down to the scriptures, man. They just pretend they do. They're hypocrites, however you say it as a plural, but hypocrites, that word means, a stage actor. Hypocrites, man. They're pretending. All right, and they don't really know the true power. They're serving a God that's not a God. No, not a God really, yeah? Not the true power, not the true God. A God goes into a judge, a ruler of power. Okay? This word, Exodus 20 and 3 says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's what we read before. So there you go, man. No other gods. Therefore, see, that requires the whole doctrine to be, addressed. If you know what I mean, like, in order for you to claim, obviously you can't just say you worship other God and not prove it. We are supposed to prove all things and hold fast that which is good. Ooh, let's get that real quick. Isn't that what Paul said? I like bringing this out. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 21. It says, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Okay, I know I read it before it came up the thing. But here it is, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. And let's see what hold fast means. This word, katecho means to hold back, all right? To hold back, hold back, detain, right? Retain, to retain it, to hold it back. right? To restrain, to hinder the course of progress of that which hinders, okay? So that would mean to retain, and this is what translate. This word translates to hold fast, to keep, to possess, to stay, to take, to have, to make, okay? And when it goes into to restrain, to hinder the course of progress, because you're holding something back, really, that would really mean just, from someone, I presume. It says that which hinders. It says Antichrist from making his appearance, but really Antichrist, there's many Antichrists, as the Bible talks about. 1 John chapter 2, 18 to 22, I believe, somewhere around there. And then it goes to check a ship's headway, i.e. to hold or head the ship, to hold fast, keep secure. There you go. Keep firm possession of, to get possession of, take, to possess. Anyways, you get the point. It basically means to keep, to possess. So now we know that Paul said that. Let's see what he said about the law, which Christianity doesn't teach you, which, the Paul Man's podcast doesn't teach. He was trying to talk about MLK being all this, a great black leader, blackity black. And we're not black, man. We're different shades of brown inherently. And we are, we are the nation of Israel. And that's our identity. And if we say we're black, then we're just chanting shit, really, man. So anything to do with black this, black that, well, really, they're not even chanting shit necessarily because they are black. They're void of light. But if they're calling that the nation, well, hey, man. You might as well call yourself an Egyptian, a Babylonian, an Osiris, yeah, America, or all these places. Ophir, don't forget that one, Ophirite. You might as well call yourself that, just like it says in the prophecy with Egypt. In Isaiah 19, and that's again spiritual Egypt, which is Babylon. The Egyptians going against the Egyptians. That's people in that land, man. And there's people in America, so-called, of our people, the Israelites, who behave as a so-called American. Therefore, they're being as them, just like our people were being as Greeks and following after other gods and forsaking the law. But I didn't want to go off too much on a tangent there. Sorry, I just want to go into a line of reasoning. But I just wanted to read this. I want to read this now, rather. Romans 7 and 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy and just. Watch this, and good. Therefore, if you have to hold fast that which is good, and Paul wrote both 1 Thessalonians and the book of Romans. Therefore, we have to hold fast to the law, because the law is just and good. There you go. So there's nothing you can really say now. Clearly, we have to keep the law, man. So let's go back to Exodus 20. 20 and what we have verse we have verse 5. I'll just keep reading. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, or bear with me. Slaki, I just had to respond to a message. So it says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And that's because, the Heavenly Father, he actually reincarnates that spirit into flesh in the third and fourth generation. Okay, so you visit the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and that's what's happened now in these generations, man. Because our people have rejected knowledge, and go off into these these so-called leaders and rulers of this world, and the rich of the world in general. Hosea 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, right? Because we've rejected the ultimate knowledge. I mean, this knowledge surpasses everything you can learn, man. And it says, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. So, in other words, he's going to forget the children, and they're going to the seed that is taught under those people who are going off. Obviously, going to learn the customs, and then it goes down, and then that spirit comes back, the third and fourth generation, man. And obviously, sometimes the children will depart from the customs. So I'll say that that is very likely. It is likely, and we can see in this walk in life, when we're being ruled on the lies, the servants are wicked. If they're serving, the world, and then as you're growing up, you're going to learn their ways. So it's at least when you start growing up, you learn their ways, and then you grow up, and you can grow out of it. So I should say it like that. So but what I mean. I just want to, I just want to be precise and concise. But let's get back to Exodus 20 and get to verse 6. It reads, and shewing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Okay, and that's who mercy will be shown unto, those that actually are going to repent, which is the elect. Okay, that's why there's no point going out there trying to look for debates. There's no point really. Like just don't even most of our people are true basically. Don't concern too much regarding them, man, because they just how do you even say it? That they're so lost that there's so many things you have to explain for them. They have to have they have to have the spirit of humility and humility to receive it, all right, from Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, and for them, to basically have their eyes open, man, to the truth. But right now, their spirit is, they're too prideful, man. They boast in themselves. They boast in their own ways. They're wise in their own eyes, man. This is Exodus 20:7. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy power in vain, right? For Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain, right? Like saying basically taking his name in idleness, right? Idle means of not basically no worth, because vain means like it's worthless. There's no value. Let's get this word. Saying the name like idly. So the word is shawa'ah is the word for vain. It's emptiness, vanity, right? All right. So now and this is the thing. Like when you read now, we've read so far, right? They have definitely broken that. Some people say they don't bow down to graven images. I don't know why I said that. Images, but they realistically do serve a false image. They do serve a false likeness. They serve a false power in general, man, a false god. Okay, especially if they move into gods of different nations, because I'm talking about Christianity right now, but really, any other doctrine, man. And loads of the foundational concepts of so-called Christianity is coming from the Babylonian Kemetic mystery school system. All right, so therefore, he has put his fucking sorcery, basically, and pretended it's relevant to the scriptures, but it ain't, man. All right, Exodus 20, and go down to verse 8. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. And it says, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahweh thy power. So stop there for now. So remember, the Shabbat day is the one to acknowledge and to keep it holy, right? Separate, by the way. Kodash in Hebrew means to be separate, consecrated. So verse 10 says, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. All right, so no work. All right, bear with me. Sorry, I had to stop the recording, so I don't remember exactly where I was going with. But Exodus 20:8, remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahweh thy power. But it says, but the 7th day, that's referring to the lunar cycle. Okay, the lunar calendar. So the new moon comes in, and the new moon is a Shabbat. And then you number 7 days, and then on the 7th day, okay, is the Shabbat. And then you count 7, and then it goes to the new moon. It cycles like that. It's not according to the Gregorian calendar, the calendar people follow in this world, in this Western Hemisphere. No way. Now that's made by the damn devil, man. So-called white man. I Shaw, the red man in Genesis 25. So this isn't being taught, all right? That the whole lunar cycle, the concept of it isn't being taught. So there you are, man. So that's another thing. They don't know the basics. So basically, it's very easy, to rebuke this world, man. It's very easy. I mean, how hard is it really to rebuke? Because you watch things in the world and you find like so many things you can just be like, oh man, that's going off, man. The world's going off because they don't even understand the basics, and they're convinced that the lands they lived in was founded upon the book that actually contains the basic principles of said truth, man. Like what? Like it's all over. Like they don't even acknowledge that no one's being taught the scriptures, but they're saying that the land was built upon the book that they're not being taught right now. Consider something ain't right. Like they ain't being taught the foundation of Babylon properly in its entirety, but at least they're told that they took it. At least we go to history class. You get to learn that shit. But anyway, right, so Shabbat, by the way, it means like intermission, right? A rest. So Exodus 20:10, it says, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Shabbat day and hallowed it. Okay? So, we're supposed to keep the 7th day holy and not do any work in that day. But that's being broken in this captivity, but by the world. And also, unfortunately, some of us can't keep the Shabbat properly because of work, man, or some form of stupid secular commitment. All right, and that's E. That's gonna have to. He's gonna have to. That's part of his sentence, basically. For making Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai servants not keep the Shabbat. But of course, you're given to E, but he's still gonna get judgment. Now, Exodus 20 and 13, thou shalt not kill. Hey, man, these damn devils that are blessed with the sword, what do they go about doing all the damn time, man? It says, thou shalt not commit adultery. Where's that? Where's the sentence for that out in this world, man? Because sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the sons of... Let me get it. I was close. I felt like I was close. I'm getting closer. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Because in their minds, well, look, I'm not getting judged for it. No one's going to catch me. That's the pride of Eve. He doesn't think he'll ever get judged for it. That's why in their hearts, it's all about doing evil, man. And, our people, they're following after the other nations, so they're going to be wise to do such evil as well. Because our people are indeed wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no understanding. Let's finish off Exodus 20, and then I'll just close out. Exodus 20. And, verse 15. And by the way, what does he do? He pushes out the concept of adultery as if it's, it's cool. Up in his, Jake he's got handlers that will tell him to make sure this stuff is in his music, man. Teaching all this wickedness. Okay? Exodus 20 and 15, thou shalt not steal. Well, they stole, man, what have they not stolen, man? These damn devils. Okay? Esau, Edom has stolen. He stole us. He stole, he stole all the land, the wealth, the resources. He's robbing this world, man. Okay, he's ruling with treachery, mischief, all right, theft, and all manner of abomination, man, of disgusting, wicked customs. All right, so thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And how many times that happened, man? How many times they bear false witness on somebody? All right, and yeah, this goes, into our neighbor. This one, hey, man, it goes into our neighbor. All right, but of course, in regards to, being like a liar, okay, we're still not to be liars, all right? Still, like Elder Mountain Zakbar was saying, like this stuff about being a liar, it's a bad habit, man. It's part of that video going into bad habits, all right? And that just came to my mind. I don't really know what my train of thought was necessarily after saying that, because I'm just thinking about, again, in that video, Elder Mountain Zakbar, these type of bad habits and these type of bad things are basically just common things you see in the world, But this stuff is supposed to be shunned away, man. But anyway, Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Right, covet goes into, desiring it, man. Having a lust for it. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, right? Because that would be adulterous to covet thy neighbor's wife, like what Yahweh Shai said. It says, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor. So you're not supposed to, your neighbor, your kinfolk. Okay, let's get that word neighbor real quick. I believe it might just go into the word, that's weird, that one actually. I won't even show that just because you know what? Because I was going to make the point like a neighbor, like in Leviticus 19 and verse 17, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. And if there's Israelites that are going off, all right, then there's some that you might look at as your brother, but some aren't going to be your brother, man. All right, because they're wicked. Just like Matthew, if you go, I won't get it just to save time, but Matthew, I believe it's chapter 12, yep, verse 50, around down there. If you see the scriptures and the conversation, Yahweh Shai had said, he pointed to his disciples that these are his brothers, all right, and basically his family, roughly just quoting, roughly referencing, all right, because the people that do the will of the Heavenly Father are a true family. Alright, but this is the law amongst us, okay? Leviticus 19:17, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. That's how you know that word neighbor. You know, we can see it being interchangeable from someone of your family, a brethren, okay? Now this word is I'm yath. I'm yath. Oh, and the word I'm means people. There you go. I'm yath. So relation, neighbor, associate, fellow, right? Someone who's basically there you go, a comrade or kindred man. I'm just highlighted it there. So someone of your kindred, your kind. So an Israelite, man. But yeah, we still don't covet his wife because that's stealing. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery. It's adulterous to look at another man's wife with lust, according to the scriptures, man. But that's it on that. I need to quickly now get ready for camp. I don't know what this video was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rucha Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone to rule well and labor in this word and doctrine. Shalom Barakath L'Habachayad Hagawiyah Yasharala, meaning peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Wath Lebabal. Shalom.